As the 1970s came to a close, a highly regarded lawyer in Houston, Texas, named Joe Jaworski, began experiencing what he later described in his book Synchronicity as a values-driven awakening. Spurred by a disillusionment with what he viewed as the failure of institutional leadership in the aftermath of Watergate, and inspired by John W. Gardner's work to establish the White House Fellows Program in the mid-1960s, Jaworski left his successful law practice to pursue his vision of establishing a national organization that would address the need for more skillful, more ethical, and more effective leadership on a local level.
He said, "You've got to meet John Gardner. He would love this." And I said, "Well, I couldn't even get in his front door. I mean, how am I going to do that?" And he said, he picked up the phone because he was in the first White House Fellows Program, and he was assigned to John Gardner. And he said, "John, I got somebody you got to meet." And 2 days later, I was in front of him.
In 1980, Jaworski and 17 collaborators launched American Leadership Forum, sowing the seeds for what would eventually become the ALF Fellows Program. In 1988, at the urging of Joe Jaworski, and with the encouragement of her friend and mentor, John W. Gardner, Ann DeBusk founded the Silicon Valley chapter of American Leadership Forum. And in 1989, Ann launched the very first Fellows class here in Silicon Valley. Along the way, Ann would regularly seek the input of John Gardner, finding his belief in the critical need for ALF in the region to be incredibly valuable, cementing his legacy of civic engagement, public service, and ethical leadership into the DNA of American Leadership Forum Silicon Valley.
And I called him. I asked if I should take the job. He said, "Well, if you take it, I'll give you some advice along the way, because there's no place that needs ALF more than Silicon Valley."
And so today, having recently welcomed the 46th class of exceptional individuals to this one-of-a-kind, year-long leadership experience, we celebrate the ALF Senior Fellows who've demonstrated those values that John Gardner himself exemplified in his lifetime. And we celebrate all of you and your role in building this 850-member network of leaders as we join together to write the next chapter of American Leadership Forum Silicon Valley. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Exemplary Leadership 2026.